I know nobody's here, but I'm just playing around. Okay, hey, that's pretty darn cool. Gotta make my own custom graphics, my own like countdown, and man, my own music, my own logo. God, there's so much to do still. Who'd have thought that the streaming biz was so much damn work? Jeez. Anyway, yeah, today we're doing live. Had some tech issues both last night and this morning. I've recorded the morning segment multiple times, and finally, just I got other stuff to do. So I'm gonna do this live, get the market update in. I don't know if anybody's even here. Probably not, but I'll edit this up the tiniest bit and I'll publish it. So we'll still try to get an update. It won't be 5 minutes. It'll be more like 10, 15. But what the hell? This is what we do. Okay, well, let's kick it off. Most of the news this week happened earlier in the week, right? The Stoner Cats charged by the SEC. Nakamigos with their new collection that they announced, right? They said fall is coming, and funny enough, they seem to be able to predict the future. Their floor price crumbled, right? It was a disaster. People don't want it. What else was going on? The Nouns, of course, have their Dow forking, which has been, also a disaster. We'll get into that. Why don't we just kick it off the way we do? Let's look at the Forecast 500 index. You can see here we're down. We're down almost 1%. In the red, last night when I peeked at this, we were actually up in the green, which I haven't seen in probably a week. Last weekend, we had a brief period where we were up for 24 hours, but that wasn't long-lived at all. And this continued downtrend, which if we zoom out, right, 7 days, we're down almost 5%. Go to 30 days, we're down a whopping 17%. It's one of the biggest declines I've seen, period, in a 30-day stretch. It's a pretty significant drop that we're in the middle of. Don't expect any type of recovery, really. Like, we might have brief periods where we stabilize, but that's all it is, and then from there, just another steep decline usually follows. Look at 60 days, though. So down 25% in 60 days. The rate of this decline is accelerated in the past 30, and I would say the most important factor there is right here, right around August 18th. Well, that's when OpenSea announced their policy to move away from creator fees, and that decline, again, it really became more extreme right at that moment. Leveling off, but still, right? It's just this constant downward trend. It never changes. Okay. Play with my views here. Normally, that's what I edit out. Look at the Crypto Slam global data here. Let's see, sales volume yesterday, 10.9 mil. That was adjusted down after some wash sales were actually filtered out. Unique sellers, though, up from the day before. Unique buyers as well, 58,000, so up a decent amount. Total transactions also up. This is a trend I've been noticing really the past couple of weeks here. Throughout the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday especially, sales ramp up. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's a decline. And again, that's on a weekly basis at this point. No reason to think that's going to stop anytime soon, too. Again, we're in the slow part of the year. September, October in particular, usually much slower, much lower sales than August. And we're seeing exactly that now. Your top 10 collections. This is on cryptoslam.io. D-Market at the top again, followed by the Nouns, Gods Unchained, Sorare, DraftKings, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Nakamigos, CryptoPunks, Mitaria Genesis. Who the heck had heard of those before? And finally, D-Gods. So because there's not a ton of fresh news right now, right? Like I mentioned, all the big news hit earlier in the week. There are some updates on these top 10 projects. Those are what people are talking about now, and for reasons. There's a reason why these collections are moving. Why don't we start with the Nouns here, who are in the midst of just a very, very difficult period for that collection. You look at this and you see pretty significant sales, right? 35 ETH sales. you could be fooled into thinking there's something big going on, that people have to buy the floor. People need to get in before this thing takes off. And it's not what's going on here at all. And this is why context really matters. And this is why you can't just chase things because you see action. Not that any of us are buying something for 35 ETH and chasing that, but what's really happening here is the Nouns DAO. You may be familiar, but the Nouns DAO sells these Nouns NFTs once a day. And they're auctions, right? So people buy them that way. That's their mint mechanic or their delivery mechanic. Well, the members have not been happy with the way the DAO's been going. Kind of tempted to switch my view here. Hang on. So yeah, members have not been happy with the way the DAO is going, the way it's functioning, and nobody's happy with really any project right now, right? But they proposed a fork in the DAO. People wanted out, and they wanted to do things either differently or to exit entirely. So there was a proposal to fork the DAO. And if the DAO forks, or when it forks, you have the option to get out entirely. Sell your NFT, your Noun NFT, back to the DAO, and you get ETH back. I don't know if it's the full amount of ETH. I'm not sure about that part, but it's way more than they would get on secondary markets. So, for example, Nouns on secondary markets are selling for 20 to 25 ETH right now. When you leave the DAO and you get your portion of the treasury, you're getting back 30 to 35 ETH. And those are the sales we're seeing right now in the collection. These 35 ETH sales are not, although the Blur ones I'm kind of curious about, but those big sales are not, I guess I'll call them legitimate sales. Make that a little bigger. They're not legitimate sales, as in this is not a buyer on secondary. This is the treasury buying them back. Now, the Blur stuff might be farming, but a majority of those sales are the treasury just rebuying the NFT. Now, here's what's really, really wild. Okay, that DAO treasury down to 14.5K. So over 14, almost 15,000 ETH in that treasury. It's a pretty good amount, right? It's almost half, though, of what it was just weeks ago. So 50%, possibly more at this point, of the DAO, the Nouns DAO members are leaving, right? They voted, they want out, and they're taking the ETH that they can get with that exit. So that treasury, just absolutely a bloodbath there, losing tons of their value. I guess 23 mil is... it's a pretty substantial number for an NFT collection, right? They have 23 mil to work with right now. So they're probably okay for a while, especially if they're smart. God, kind of here on the spot, I'm thinking about how much money a lot of these collections made in the bull market. And these guys, well, as individuals, as the project founders, set for life, right? But also, man, if you did it right, your project is set for the long haul. Imagine having a treasury right now of 23 mil and that just maybe weeks ago was almost 50 mil. So on one hand, it's sad to see it falling apart right now, that they're losing, maybe their firepower that they would have had. But 23 mil is pretty damn significant still. Anyway, that's why Nouns, are there at number 2 on the collection rankings. That's what those sales are. They are people basically returning their NFT. Gods Unchained, we're not going to go deep into that at all, actually, but they announced a new game mechanic, maybe like predefined packs that you can play with. So instead of bringing your assembled decks into this Magic the Gathering type of game, you get a randomly assigned deck. It balances out, I guess, the playing field, and then it comes down to skill. So your most skilled players are diving in and playing this. And yeah, it's interesting. There's a bit more fairness to that way. It's kind of nice. I like it. So rare, nothing there. That's their typical volume. Same with DraftKings, who you've seen. They've been up in the top 5 or so pretty much every day for the past, we'll say, at least month, especially with the NFL season kicking off. Those DraftKings NFTs are fantasy football cards, right? You build a team, you compete against the league. High scores win money, actual money. $100,000, I think, was the prize pool for last week, so pretty significant stuff, and people doing really well. Okay, I'm going to peek. I want to send this link out, get some people in here. Nobody's here, so hopefully this pause is cool. But yeah, bear with me. I got a couple people, some of my friends, supporters who are going to join here. Gotta say, I'm really looking forward to ramping this show up, like in the long run, right? I love the daily morning updates. Take a long time to put together, and I really love it. I found that I love the video editing. It's a lot of work still, getting the lighting, doing the audio, getting graphics done. Today I'm going to kind of play with these graphics, but I do like the live show. There's something about this that feels right, that I actually see as the future probably for this channel, as a live show. And I got to say this too. Right now, I guess I'm promoting this out in the Twitterverse, right? Where people are pretty damn up to school, right? Up to snuff with what NFTs are and what the terminology means. Ultimately, that's not my audience. I want my audience to be people outside of NFTs that we want to bring in, that we want to help them get over that huge learning curve. It's so hard to learn the terms and learn the projects and who is who and what is what. And that's what my channel ultimately I want to be for. I want to help bring anybody into NFTs who wants to get in and finds it intimidating. Well, you get your quick morning updates, you get your 3 to 5 minute videos of what's happening. And then beyond that, the live shows where I can interact with you and explain things. You can stop me on the spot and ask questions about anything we're talking about or anything even unrelated. It's needed, honestly. Like, picture all the media and content we have in the space. It's pretty advanced. It requires that you have a deep, deep understanding of NFTs, and that's something we don't necessarily have to change, but we need more. We need more content that's tailored towards, people who aren't already here. That's my goal. All right, well, I don't want to hold this up just waiting for people. This is just, the show must go on, right? This is practice, but this is commitment. This is making sure to do a show every day. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to continue right on here. DraftKings, we stopped there. So Nakamigos at number 7, tons of sales there too. And this is another perfect example of just because we're seeing sales doesn't mean that's something you should be buying into and you should be chasing the action. So let's take a look at those sales real quick. Okay, a lot of sales in the low 0.2 ETH range, right? That's about where they're settling. That's about where the floor is now. Hit around 0.21, 0.22 earlier, maybe just a day or two ago, from a high of almost 0.4, and that was just weeks ago. These guys had done pretty darn well in the bear market. That's because they've been teasing, right? The project has come out. Oh, dude, I'm not even sharing the screen. Okay, here we go. This will help, right? Here's the sales I was talking about. Okay. So Nakamigos now for a while have been saying, hey, the fall is coming, or fall is coming, right? They're playing on, Game of Thrones? So fall is coming. What's up? I'm imagine that's you here, Moisty. If not, welcome to the one viewer. Fall is coming. I've got buddies who are in Nakamigos who've been saying, hey, they got something big. They're cooking. These guys are cooking. There's rumors that this project was made by maybe Beeple, maybe Larva Labs. I don't know. I don't get those vibes from it at all. I do get the cool, community vibes from it. There is something special about that project. They have that it factor. But anyway, what did these guys bring to the table? Let's show you. They brought a brand new collection. That's what it was. Okay? It wasn't a big announcement of, a team reveal, and you find out that it's the legendary Larva Labs or something. No, a brand new collection called Nakamigo Cloaks, 20,000 edition collection for 0.05 ETH. Holders of Nakamigos get first dibs. Nobody wants that, dude. Nobody wants new NFTs. Nobody wants to spend in this market. 2 ETH for Azukis was way too much, right? But 0.25 from Cyberkongs was also too much, right? The ETH collection didn't sell out. Well, now we find out 0.05 is also too much. Okay, how do we know that? Well, the price, like I mentioned, Nakamigos were 0.4 ETH before. They fell to just about 0.2. They lost nearly half their value. People don't want to buy NFTs in this market at all. They just don't. Flip side is what they do want. Let me pull this up real quick because I'm going to show you what they want. Look, this is what people want. Sugartown is from Zynga, the first ever NFT game from Zynga. These are the guys behind Words with Friends and what else they got? They got some of the biggest games in the world, mobile stuff. It's not a type of game I play, but you don't get bigger than Zynga. So they come into the NFT space with an NFT collection, with a game, an upcoming game. Initially, this would have been a paid mint, but after they saw Rec League's mint, and Rec League, well, it failed to mint out, these guys came back and said, hey, our mint's going to be free. That's it. That's how you do it. You give value to your holders. Free mint, big brand. It's the way you do it, right? Nobody's paying for NFTs right now. Nobody wants to buy them. Give it free. You got to earn it. You got to earn it in this space now. So, Nakamigos changing and pivoting to now a free mint as well. And Nakamigo holders they're the ones who benefit from this. They get to claim the free Nakamigo NFT. So good on them for changing, right? For not making the mistake, but now they've diluted their collection. Now there's 40,000 Nakamigos, none of them with utility. And I'll tell you what, ultimately, I think this reflects poorly on the team. This tells me that they don't have vision and they don't have a strong plan. And maybe there's not really much depth to the collection other than the PFPs, which granted look awesome. I've thought about getting one multiple times. In fact, I'm thinking here, did I buy one and sell it at some point? I really might have. I don't remember. Kind of leaning towards no, but I love the look of them. I love the vibe of the community, but I think the team has now revealed what they are and what they're not. What they're not is an elite team or collection who's going to compete with the big boys. Maybe in the long run they can, but I just think this was probably a really bad idea in general. I guess going free is it's clearly better than selling for 0.05, but I think it should just be scrapped, by the way. I think they should probably build a way to earn these through some type of game experience. I don't know what they could do at this point, but again, the whole thing was a misstep, and we'll see ultimately if the main Nakamigos collection can recover from that. I guess holding above 0.2 is pretty darn solid, though. We'll give them that. All right, we touched on the nouns. We touched on Nakamigos. Metaria Genesis. I imagine you've not heard of these guys at all, right? I haven't, and I'm pretty up on my NFTs. But that's pretty solid sales in a 24-hour period for something I've not heard of, right? Especially in this market. So $250,000 in the past 24 hours. Over 300,000 this week. That's about 48 hours they've been live here. But still, I don't know what the heck they are. So I'm doing my research. I'm digging in because I got to learn what went under my radar that was apparently so hot. First off, that's not too loud, but first off, they look incredible. Like they're gorgeous. Whatever this is. I think, I'm not a web dev or graphic designer or whatever, but it looks beautiful. There's something more to this than nothing we're used to seeing. And these sales aren't nothing either. 0.09, 0.1 I saw last night. I mean, there's volume here. But still, what is it? And who are they? And I still don't really know. So I check out their socials. I don't have many people that I know that are following them, first off. They joined in April of this year. You guys do this too, I know. You check their Twitter. You see who's following them. You look at the like ratio on their tweets to see if it's maybe propped up by bots. I can't quite tell with these guys. 6,000 is a lot of likes for something I've not heard of, but if that came in May and they farmed that tweet, that could be legit. Maybe. Almost 400,000 impressions, though, or views. I think that's what that is. I don't know. I can't quite get a feel for this one. 27,000 views on a tweet from yesterday for a thing. Again, I don't know if anybody knows about it. So maybe I'm wrong and maybe there is some awareness. Maybe there is something more to this. They do have sandbox avatars coming out. Again, the art looks friggin' incredible. Looks really good. Now, here's the thing. What are these guys offering? What is their project? So I took it a little step deeper, looked at the roadmap. Well, it's the same thing everybody's offering. It's a PFP. It's a token. It's land. It's ultimately planets. So they're building out maybe their own metaverse. And I guess at this point, nothing new, right? This has been done over and over and over again. And in this bear market, it's been revealed that it doesn't work. There's no substance to any of that. So unless these guys are secretly the most gangster team who's been building, who's ready to launch something that nobody else has done yet, like a fully fleshed out world, I don't see how this works or survives or isn't just the flavor of the day. Only thing is at 0.04 ETH of the mint price, that's what's probably driving the volume right now. People made some profits right off the bat. That'll continue until people move to the next flavor of the day, and that's just how the space works, right? What else do we need to hit on here? Well, you know what? There was one final thing here, and I'm curious if anyone here is into this. FriendTech. So we talked about this a few weeks ago. I signed up for a FriendTech account even. It's pretty interesting, and I like the idea, and I actually think Twitter/X is moving this direction of monetizing your followers. So on Twitter X, it's through subscriptions. And I really think they'll end up having, paid private DMs as well. They're monetizing content, right? If you get a lot of views, well, you get paid. It's a good idea, right? FriendTech is trying to take out a slice of that action right now by offering, again, paid access to maybe people on the inside. Now, what's interesting is, as FriendTech grows, NFTs are shrinking. Talking about the prices of NFTs, and NFT Stats has been digging into this lately. So is Tyler. These are both guys you really got to follow if you like to be keyed into like the data side of NFTs. But the value of the top dogs in NFTs at a multi-year low, while FriendTech is just booming. Let's see if he's got some other stats up here. He sure did before. Might have just pulled up the wrong screen or the wrong chart. Is it this one? Yeah. Yeah, he's got a bunch. Like, FriendTech is interesting. Here's the thing, though. I don't know if it's really growing or if it's just more money from the same people being thrown at it. So, interesting. FriendTech. Okay, traders on FriendTech realizing more than 16,000 ETH of profits. 24 mil on profits on FriendTech. Wow. Okay, but the fees to transact over there make up almost 2/3 of that. Holy cow. So the profit really, I can't do math, is about what, 8 mil over the lifetime of the platform, I think. And you got to compare that to what's happening on NFTs. Nobody's making profits. NFTs are in the negative, actually. Down $1 mil a day just about in profits. Now, here's what was really interesting to me just a day ago. The number of buyers on FriendTech exceeded NFTs for the first time ever. That was just yesterday. So there is definitely something going on here. Worth noting, it counts new subscribers, new accounts as a buyer. When you sign up, you essentially buy your own key. So that's really what's driving this metric, as opposed to you going on there or someone else going on there and buying someone else's key. It's not really what's happening. It's new accounts signing up, testing it out. When they find out nobody's buying their key, I don't know, I think they leave, just like they did with Threads, right? They went over, they tested it out, they're back to X, they're back to Twitter. So is this a fad or is this the future? I say a little of both. And I just realized I'm not sharing my screen again. God, I'm so sorry. We'll get this right. Anyway, I'm just going to show this chart real quick one more time. Here's FriendTech. Buyers exceeding NFT buyers. This was yesterday when I was mentioning that this is new account signups, basically. That's this chart. Here's the profits. Profits after fees, though. That's the blue here. Way less. And it's stabilizing here. I don't know. I don't think this has legs. If we see profits and gains in crypto, though, yeah, that'll flow over here. Maybe before it does to NFTs. All right. Well, I think that's the show. We do 5-minute videos daily. The live show's turning into a 30-minute thing. Again, I really like it. This ultimately is what I want to do. I want to have a daily live show on top of those quick morning videos. The live show's got to be more like 15 minutes. It's got to be bite-sized still, right? I don't think anybody wants to sit and watch this stuff for 30 minutes or an hour. We do that on Twitter on Spaces, but this has got to be a little different. Again, I'm aiming for a little different audience, people who are new, maybe curious about NFTs, and they don't know this terminology. So, with all that said, tomorrow I will be back with a morning video talking about the latest happenings in NFTs. We'll get the market update in. And hey, like always, if it's happening in NFTs, I'm going to bring you inside. So until the next time, I'll see you. Bye.